John McCaig with JesusChristTrust.net, and I thought I'd get into Judgment Day, the day itself, a little bit, and it's mentioned in the Bible here. And one day is like 1,000 years. So there's only one big day that comes up, right? Judgment Day, Judgment Day, Judgment Day. Oh, that day is 1,000 years. What does that mean? Well, one thing is there are two separate times that exist. There's a time that's a day, and there's a time that's 1,000 years. It says right in the Bible that two separate times exist. So that means that some beings, some existence exists in the 1 day area, and some existence exists in the 1,000 years area, different time, right? That's what that means, right? Two separate areas of time. And okay, so what that means is this repeating 64-year time loop, is 1 day. The inside this sphere, this crystal sphere, this dome here, Earth, inside this dome, the time is 1,000 days. Outside this Earth, right, when you're disembodied, when you're not inside a physical, body, inside this dome, then you're in the 1,000 years area. Like when you go to sleep at night and you rest, you lose consciousness of this world 100%. And you go over to the 1,000 years area and you take a rest. A nice rest, right? It feels nice. It feels too short. But that's what it is over there. So the creatures that exist over there, they can be here too, right? How, it'd take some act of God to allow them to come and go between here. Of course, that's what they have. We can't do that. You and I, humans can't do that, right? They can't just skip back and forth between 1 day and 1,000 years. But obviously, there are creatures that can. Meaning, the Flash and Marvel Comics or whatever, right? Somebody that can go so fast, everybody's like standing still. Well, that's them. That's the angels around us. That's everything around us. It's like they're uncountable, right? There's so many in the ether, and they're all around us. There are really two areas, right? There where the jinn is and the angels, the fallen ones and the not fallen ones. They're over there in the ether, in the 1,000 years land. And so they can enter physical bodies. Okay, that's in the Bible too. Like Jesus gets demons out of a group of individuals and sends them into pigs, and they all go down and die in the river or something like that. Anyway, the demons exist in some bodies that exist. When they're embodied, and when they're not here, they have to go back where they came from. They're not operating at the same speed anymore. They're back to the 1,000 years thing. And that's, they're all around us all the time. You can swing your arm to the left or the right. You'll never touch them. They're always behind you or whatever. You never see them. They're operating at a different rate of speed. They'd be a blur unless they came out of the ether right before you and they just appeared, which, that's what happens. They just appear and disappear and appear and disappear, at your whim. You got to think about it. If they have the ability to do that, and you're talking with them, they're running everything like Disney World here, and so you're talking to them at, let's just say you're at a store or whatever like that, and there's a counter, and you turn your head to the right for a minute after making a comment, and they make a witty comeback on your comment. I was like, whoa, that's really legit. How long were they gone? You know what I mean? When you turned your head and couldn't see them. How long were they gone? A decade? You know what I mean? To think that up? Were they gone, a couple days? To think up that witty response to what you said. Because they can come and go as they please, and you wouldn't know. Because they move so fast. Okay? 1 day is 1,000 years. That's an ability. The ones you're up against, your adversary and the whole team, right? The devil and its all its minions, they have that ability. Just like God does. God gave it to them. It's like let's make the game fair, right? Because the devil's just a fallen angel. Whatever. Go under the dome and manage stuff for me. Because if I'm in there, the game wouldn't go as planned, right? Like if God's already here, then God can't come here. You see? Oh, big problems. Oh, God showed up. Problem solved. You see, there has to be that chaos, that difficulty here in duality until everyone's like, help, God. You know what I mean? Like, miracle has to happen if something is happening that's so, can't be solved, that if it does get solved, the only explanation is a miracle. Oh, somebody died. Now they're alive. Oh, what? That's a miracle. And etc. Impossible things. And so that's things have to get bad. Things have to get bad. And then everyone has to be like, maybe God is real. I think we need God, not more government, not, the more problems that they create, but God. Government is supposed to be the manager of everything. They're given all resources and control of every single human and every animal and everything. All the assets, everything. They control everything. And what do we get out of that? We have to pay bills. I mean, wait a minute. We gave you all the control of all the land and all the resources, and you sold it to yourselves and your friends, and now you get all the money from it, and you charge us for all the resources we gave you to manage for us. That's your story. Your story is you're the government and you manage the resources for us. And yet in doing so, what happened? They take everything for themselves, right? Fences everywhere. How's this our land and your land? This is my land. How is it? How? Name one way this is my land and your land. Name any way. Can't you like? Can you go through? Those fences. The barbed wires kind of pierces your skin there now, don't it? You see what I'm saying? Anyway, one day is 1,000 years. If you don't see you're under a dome in a terrarium as an ant trapped here as a slave and need God to let you free, well, I don't know why you're listening to this video. I don't get that. But I would love to have your feedback. Everyone, I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know what you think, please. I am curious to see, how to connect the truth to people, put it out there so that they can absorb it, process it, and utilize it to change their actions and be ready for Judgment Day, you see? That's my role.